I think this fight was all about position.
Look at him trying to hit him. He can't.
Yeah.
Such a sad Sven, man.
Yeah.
That's right. That's why Brew is really good because of Haze most of the time. You think about the ulti, but Haze is actually insanely good.
It didn't help that when the fight started, they were on the low ground and they got spotted by a ward placed by Fly.
Yeah.
And then they got rushed.
Just timed out as well.
Yeah.
So what do they do differently this game? I mean, obviously they started out right. They have the right idea in terms of dealing with OG. What are we going to see them do differently? And we can also already see part of the answer because the draft's on the way. So what do you think?
Honestly, the thing I want for Ninja's Pyjamas, I want to pick Jonas to find a more aggressive hero. Like a Clockwork or even an Axe. We know OG favored their Dazzle. So having an Axe early game just to like bump up the aggression for them, I think could be definitely a way forward.
Yeah. I think no Viper is too early.
Okay.
Unless they want to do like a Drow kind of strat, where they can pressure with the Drow aura.
Yeah.
Okay, this is something that OG was planning. They already banned out the CK. And obviously they were planning on taking a Teddy for themselves in the first two, and Doom as well, because somehow that made it through, and Ninja's Pyjamas seem to be okay with letting that through, but they now only have a IO, and he looks very squishy against both the Doom and the Tiny. As Tiny is one of the heroes that can actually kill IO real fast.
You just get the blink
But
dagger.
he needs levels first.
He does.
This is their OG's Alchemist draft as well. Do you remember they did this quite a few times actually? They pick up the Tiny without the IO, and then they give No Tail their Alchemist mid, and it just like he just hands out the Aghanims.
Aghanims for everybody.
So is this where you ban the Alchemist here?
I would almost say yes. Then it's definitely scary, but it's also a hero that. I don't know, how are you gonna do in your lanes if you pick an Alchemist right now?
If you want to give them the Alchemist, he needs a space to farm. Like these two heroes alone are very, very farm-intensive heroes, so you could just be extremely aggressive with Jonas's hero. Like maybe the Clockwork, use the Rocket Flare to scout out the camps, that kind of stuff. Then the Doom is gonna just have a field day.
So Beastmaster's pretty good as well.
Yeah, just keep the vision up.
Or Brood so far.
I actually think, despite me saying I don't like the hero earlier, I think this is a great LC game. You run LC Wisp on your offlane.
Yeah, that's extremely.
You know you're either up against a Doom or a Tiny. You're gonna just run over that.
Don't you think Bristol is better than?
I think
or Axe even.
When somebody gets doomed, you give them the press the attack. You could even tether the Wisp and press the attack the Wisp and just give them a whole bunch of heal.
Why do you think Bristol is better? Just because
Bristol Wisp is insane, man.
Just because
they
the pressure they put on
low
the
armor.
Yeah,
okay. So like, either of those two heroes are gonna be really weak against
So
Bristol.
you're thinking like amp up the physical damage?
Yeah.
Smart ban on the Lich.
There's no Dazzle. There's no Lich. I think Bristol could work very well.
NiP does like their Bristles, right?
Yeah,
They do.
Jonas Bristol with the Wisp.
Yeah.
Easy game.
Lim played it yesterday actually for them.
If you know that you're going up against a Doom as well as a Tiny, do you feel like you should be applying as much pressure as they did in the previous game in the early stages? Or will they try to draw out the game longer?
Radiant team.
What do you think?
I think you could, because it's kind of greedy right now with the Doom Tiny. In my opinion, and they have 3 melee strength heroes.
This is the X game. Come on, baby.
Is this where you say Timbersaw?
Timbersaw, yeah. But he doesn't like to do him that much.
Okay.
But it's still good. Like, you can't doom everyone. That's the plan. You need Timber, Bristol, and something else.
You're talking about Aggression Shiever, and Queen of Pain definitely gives it to Ninjas in Pyjamas.
Yeah.
Like, one of Limp's more comfortable heroes. And we've seen Limp and S4 play it in kind of a similar-ish way. The Sailing at level 6 just rotate around, put pressures on the lanes.
But they're
Which
also
in this case also would allow maybe Io and Bane to take over mid lane and get the level 6, which is really important for
That's
them.
true. And they still have the option to... I know Iro likes his Queen of Pain as well. They can put it in the safe lane and combo up another hero with Iro.
They could go Huskar.
Or Necrolite.
Huskar, okay, yeah.
Maybe.
Why do you think Huskar is a good pick here?
Because of Wisp, mainly.
Against Tiny?
I mean, there's a lot of right click too. They hit pretty hard.
Yeah, I'm just throwing it out there. I don't know if it's the best one.
I'm not sure whether I like the Queen of Pain pick actually, because these heroes are very beefy. So
Yeah, that's what it's
They're also melee though, so the dagger does quite a lot of work.
Oh, you don't
But
make
you're gonna
No, but
you're gonna throw your burst, and then you sustain with
Yeah.
Wyvern and Undying, kind of.
I also think that Slardar would... Oh, never mind. Just take it out.
Yeah.
I was like, Slardar would be good against these HP heavy.
Bristleback is not that good anymore.
With the
Because they have
Wyvern.
Winter Wyvern.
Wyvern.
No, well,
They
they take it anyways. Can I make it work?
I mean, Wyvern is also a very low armor hero, so...
Yep.
Even though, like, you could protect your allies with Cold Embrace, the quills still stack up.
Yeah.
So after they come out, they boom.
Yeah, it's true. Very true.
And you got some extra nuke damage with the Queen of Pain there as well, if someone is stuck in a Cold Embrace.
The Winter Wyvern's also very good at locking down the Queen of Pain, though. You know, you can use your ultimate from Frog.
So far, in regards to lockdown, that is something that Ninjas in Pyjamas is lacking.
Yeah, very well. The Bane does quite a lot of work, but
It's only the Bane.
It's only Bane, yeah.
So if you have a Tiny, he jumps in on the Bane, Avalanche Toss, Bane dies.
NiP could go for a Brood, or Timber, even. Just still go ham, man.
Well, yesterday you said that Era doesn't like to play Bristleback, right? So
Yeah.
most
I
likely
could
it's
play
gonna
the
be...
Queen of Pain.
Yeah, I
Link
think so.
plays the Timber.
Okay.
Jonas plays the Bristle.
I like that. I'm sold.
Depends on what OG pick, though. NiP has the last pick. So,
Some extra
yeah.
power for them.
Depends on what OG you go for.
So we mentioned the Alchemist a little bit earlier. Is it still looking good here?
The only one you really worry about is Bristleback. Having high amount, like the physical damage, is an issue for Alchemist. And Queen of Pain is a very good laner, of course.
And if you go for Alch, you have 4 melee strength heroes.
Yeah, you do.
There's Timber.
Yes,
Timber high, boys.
It's actually very exciting to see.
What about
Yeah.
a Meepo?
For,
Is this a Meepo draft?
for OG or...
For OG, yeah.
It's a decent Meepo game.
It's very, very good against the Queen of Pain.
Bristle kinda looks like he goes one and hits it like 3 times and it's dead.
You can kite it though. But
Yeah, you can kite it, but if you can lock it down.
I think they need a tempo controlling hero, like someone to actually take the initiative in the early game.
On OG side?
Yeah.
Like Beastmaster would have been.
Beastmaster's a yeah.
But he's got banned out, so
what
Ninjas
they-
in Pyjamas is on the same line.
What they kind of lean
Puck
back
is
on
kinda
is the Brewmaster a lot.
A lot of control.
Will Brewmaster be too greedy again here, or?
I mean,
again-
it offered so much control in the previous game.
Yeah.
I almost would say, like,
Dead?
can you go wrong with it?
Timber? Seriously, though.
I mean,
if you go
Timber,
through...
you just cyclone combo him there for 6
Yeah.
seconds. That's not bad. Timber, Bristleback, these are not BKB heroes. I mean, you can get BKB on them, but they're not
Reserved.
happy buying it.
I'm not saying it's super bad, but it's kinda bad. I think Puck is the way to go, if you want. Tempo controller.
Okay.
Right,
Yes, sir.
Radiant team.
So
pick.
Bristleback runs at us? Okay,
Yeah.
no problem.
Yeah.
We'll take your damage.
That's a good point.
They still kind of need an initiator from Ninjas in Pyjamas, so...
Lesh,
Let's rock.
he comes back. We saw him yesterday, actually. He didn't do bad when the Rise played him.
Yeah, it's very good against a Winter Wyvern. Someone gets Cold Embrace, you can stun, do a lot of
They
magical
have
damage.
sleep into stun as well.
Yeah.
What's the thing to look out for
Pumpkin
this game?
Bristle?
Support
I think we're
Bristleback.
gonna swap a bit.
Maybe.
What's the thing to look out for this game?
We'll watch Limp on his Queen of Pain and
Watch
see,
Limpo on the screen of pain.
see if you can up the tempo of the game and bring the aggression to OG.
Okay, well you heard the man. It is time for game 2 of Ninjas in
They
Pyjamas
swapped the heroes.
versus OG with OD Pixel and Rascal.
Indeed, welcome back. NiP versus OG. Game 2's underway. Let's get ourselves in before we waste too much time. It's myself, Eddie Pixel, and Draskell, and we're ready to get ourselves on with this one and the drafts. You said early on, as we were talking about this, Andy, a lot of manliness coming out from that of OG here with this lineup.
Yeah, no kidding. You start your draft off with Doom, Tiny, Undying. I think you want to fight. At least to some degree. It kind of was weird to me when I saw the CK ban in the first 2. I was like, they're doing something crazy here. And the first thing that came to mind was Tiny, at the very least, but I didn't know if they were going to pick Doom and Tiny together. But that is going to be the case.
To battle.
The nice thing about picking the Doom is it also kind of makes picking Brew really annoying if you're NiP. And typically you would want to pick Brew against a Tiny lineup because it's the same thing that Sven suffers from. You just stay in the air all game. Not even sure if NiP actually have a Brewmaster player, but after OG showed the strength with the hero, I wouldn't be too surprised to see other teams kind of experimenting with it.
Okay, well, OG now moving in. Just looking for the rune here, and NiP, they're not going to want to try and take this fight, at least down at the bottom. And be able to secure themselves the bottom rune here for Miracle on his Razor. And top, he's going to be Aya picking up the bounty himself to make sure they can get a decent timing on the bottle here for Aya. And well, he comes out with that naked straight up. So we'll have the ball here for this this lane to help out what looks to be the pairing here with Jonas and Fan at the moment to provide this dual lane on the top lane.
Yeah, this lane is actually going to have a hard time though, I think. You're going to be up against Undying with 2 strength heroes. It's not going to be fun. I actually think that OG could potentially even win this lane if they play their cards right. It just depends too on what Moon wants to do, and of course crit.
Well, it's going in on the top. Jonas and Fan ready to kick it off with a bit of a start. Just forcing fly back there on the Undying, and Tiny as well has got to be a bit careful about the quill sprays racking up. I mean, this mid lane matchup, the Limp versus Miracle Razor. Who do you expect we're going to see coming out on top there?
I think Queen will be fine. Queen is one of the few heroes that doesn't really care about static link too much because you're typically too far away. So, you know, he gets a static link on you, you blink away, you walk back in, you lose maybe like 7 damage.
Top lane, OG, they want to try and make a go on this. They're looking for Hanscan. Look at this damage here from Fly. They'll be able to find themselves first blood. But look to Jonas and Fan. We'll see if they can find that as well. The avalanche is there. And this is going to be a cheeky 2 for the side of OG. They get Bristle back on the top lane as well. And that's your off lane getting dismantled there on the side of NiP.
So, I want to harken back to the draft for a second. And I know it's well over, but if you look at the way that NiP responded to the Tiny and the Doom first pick, they take a Wisp. And the problem with taking the Wisp is in the first 2, they only got the Bane with it, as we're going to see a bit of pull contention here. But the problem with that is, in the next phase, as actually we're going to see another kill, so
oh dear.
Looks like OG don't want to let me finish my thought. Bastards. Just killing everyone. But at the end of the day, if you do that, and you already have one really good Wisp hero and Tiny, you've picked it yourself. You can counterban the other 2. You ban CK in the first phase, which means that there aren't really that many good Wisp tether targets left, because Gyro was also taken out, and you certainly are not picking PA against these heroes. So they kind of gave them only one option to go with, and it makes them lane in a way that is less than ideal.
Okay, mid lane. Miracle in terms of CS 7 for 2 against the 8 for 5 of Limp. Limp having a slightly favourable time. But it's, I mean, the question is really, what does the Aya do? We've seen he can't really do anything on the top lane with the Bristleback. He's coming towards the mid.
He can just stack. I mean, you kind of have to leave the Bristle alone at this point. It's not worth being there if you're just going to die.
Seal Kid wants to look for a wraparound here. He's got a double damage.
Okay.
He's looking for Miracle, but Miracle already gets the static link out. Limp and Hanscan moving in from the sideline, but Chris going to be able to Arctic burn himself across the tree line. Miracle actually moving forward. Has stolen 59 damage here. Seal Kid fairly low. And they'll just force it back, and NiP won't be able to find anything here with this rotation towards the mid lane.
Yeah, I think moving around is probably the best thing that NiP can do at the moment. Leave Hanscan, or excuse me, Jonas and Fan up in top lane. Try to get what he can. Because if there's not 3 heroes here, I think it's less likely that Jonas and Fan will end up dying. If the Wisp is here, and then the Wyvern is reactionary moving to that lane, then there's kill potential because of Arctic Burn. But prior to that, it's much harder for the Bristle to die. So maybe it wasn't really the great idea to put Wisp top lane in the first place, but it's already kind of too late now. He is going to make his way back top again. Still without boots, but No Tail is low on mana at this point. He does have 9 stick charges though.
The thing is, of course, as well, that they've sent the Wyvern back up here in return because of Hanscan's reappearance. And straight up with the avalanche does come onto Jonas and Fan, bringing him low. Hanscan's trying to keep him alive, but it's just not working out for NiP. They'll lose the Bristle, they'll lose the Eye once again. And again, the top lane, they're giving a lot to the side of OG up here.
Yeah, you just can't fight it. Like, even from the start, it was obvious that there was no way they were winning that lane. It's just too strong. Like, Winter Wyvern, you get ran at by an Undying, 1 stun toss combo, and you're just dead. There's no recovery from that.
On top lane, Jonas and Fan coming back in. No Tail is fairly low here. Let's see Fly just dropping down the decay. No Tail's going to get forced back here by the quill sprays. They do still have a Wyvern around here. Jonas and Fan moving very aggressively in. He's not going to be able to find anything more. Just keeping No Tail low, but the farm for the Tiny is still good. 19 for 5 at the moment. Mid lane, Miracle. Moves in with the static link. It steals a hefty chunk as well. 38 right clicks, so making it a bit harder for CS. Then just jumps straight forward with the scream.
Denied.
But overall, 4.5 minutes in, it certainly feels like OG with the overall lead. Maybe this, if they can find this kill, this is going to be very nice for NiP. They're moving in, they really want to find Miracle. Miracle's going to start to salve up here, gets a fair bit up, and Limp jumps forward, will find the kill. Looks like he'll be able to get away with it as well, so nicely done there by Limp, moving in deep and finding himself a very, very high priority kill onto Miracle's Razor.
Well, it's good that somebody on NiP is doing well right besides Arrow, right? Because Jonas and fans not having a great time.
Alright, he's trying to get himself out, chasing down with the Octobend. Do they have the damage on this Wyvern here? No, not quite enough. Anderson fan will be able to salve back up, so doesn't lose his life this time on the top.
I'm kind of wondering what the plan is for NiP right now. Like, your Wisp is going to be very under-leveled. Level 2 at 5 minutes in. The Bane is getting, I guess, not too much better of a start. He's also level 2, halfway to 3. The bright side is Aerith's free farming. The Queen of Pain's not doing too bad, and I suppose after the 2 deaths, Jonas and fan still has a decent amount of CS, given his offlane.
Maybe see if they can set something up here, but Moon is fairly tanky. I don't know if they have the best to bring him down. Maybe they do. In fact, Scorch's not going to save him, and NiP, they've got the damage. Another nice kill for them there. Yeah, Error. Picking himself down, and the build there, as you were saying as well, the fact that he's putting 3 points into it.
Shout out to Pamela.
That's how you got to do it.
That guy's the Leshrac player. I think he has like 8,000 million games on the hero or something like that.
Damn.
Accurate.
Oh,
that screen.
Okay. I'm gonna still try and look for it, but the TPs are coming in.
Middle tower is under attack.
OG. Notel moving in. Anderson fan on the high ground at the moment will now reveal himself, and Notel, oh, he goes for the toss back, bringing Anderson fan close to but not quite close enough. There's an avalanche as well. They're trying to get the damage through here, and in fact, Notel's gonna be careful. The sunlight is beautiful. Look how low OG are. Arrow's just moving forward with the ED. They found 2, 3. They're gonna find 4 as well, almost certainly. Let's quick juke the sound he can here with the Archibald, but he's taking the balls to the face here. Iron balls flying through, looks for the stand. It's gonna miss, but the ASUS is still there. They'll find it. Arrow getting a triple kill with a Pulse Nova. And showing us that it may not be 6.84, but this pony can still be pretty darn radioactive.
That was actually an insane ulti coming in from Limp. That hit like perfectly on everyone on the side of OG. And Jonas and fan still lived for a very long time. Even granted he hasn't had the best laning phase so far. So imagine if he hadn't like died so many times and they just had a bit more stable of a lane, I think NiP might have a decent chance during the mid game to take some real good fights.
So lane, Anderson fan trying to move in with the goo, wants to Fly, has the back of the hand skin as well here. Fly will put down the tombstone, so it's going to heal him up a little bit, but these quill sprays are stacking up. The pulse fly through as well, and Fly in a lot of trouble here. They'll get the kill. Anderson fan pressing him down as the quill spray stacked up. They get themselves the money there for the tombstone as well, and NiP. After what looked like a rocky start against the Tiny, they're turning it around. And talking about the Tiny, he will come in. He'll get the toss onto Handskin. He'll find 1 kill. Moon moving forward here with the Scorch Tower. Jonas and fans just sticking about it. Getting the crossbows out. And at the same time, Error, he's found himself a kill onto the Wyvern. There'll be the toss forward onto the Siege Creep. Closing in on Jonas and fan. They're trying to die, but the screams there from Lim. Turning up just in the nick of time to punish Moon diving on the Doom. 9 for 7. NiP showing us that again in game 2 they very much have the skill and the potential to really give it to the side of OG.
I think the first game was kind of a draft issue for NiP, but this time around they certainly fielded a much more stable lineup. Jonas and fan, I think he's fine. He will be able to casually walk it off here, but like you were mentioning, really good early game engagements coming out from NiP thus far. They're going to have Queen ulti up again in another 20 seconds if they want to continually apply this kind of pressure. And I mean, Limp has pulled ahead of Miracle now in terms of CS. Era is a beast. He's 5-0.
He's having a great
50
time.
CS at 8.5 minutes. I really like this build as well. It's not often you see something like this, but I think it's pretty much directed at the Doom to say, okay, you have a really good heal in Scorched Earth, but Diabolic Edict does ridiculous amounts of damage. Like 36 damage every single interval. You just explode. It doesn't matter who you are, especially when you don't have any armor because it's physical damage.
Honestly, Jonas and fan making as much use of the map as he can, just stacking up the Ancients, bringing them down low with the quill sprays. And yeah, this is looking pretty good for the side of NiP. And Arrow with that Void Stone, I imagine he's just going to try and get that Yules online as soon as possible. And then we may see him become even more active across the map. But already, yeah, we saw him turning up to mid lane, getting himself a triple kill. And playing the Leshrac very, very nicely here.
And once he gets that Yules...
It doesn't look like it's... Well, it might be a casual point booster. He's got the Void Stone and now he's gone for the point booster.
Oh, really? Okay.
Yeah.
That is actually kind of interesting. I suppose when you have treads, it's alright to have a casual Void Stone. But he could also keep that and then still go Yules, just for the setup.
Yeah, Yeah.
Because the setup is actually really strong against OG. None of their heroes have an escape, so there's no blinks, there's no leaps or anything like that. It means the stun hits, you should be able to get a kill. More often than not, because you're going to have a follow-up stun, you're going to have the Queen burst damage, you're going to have Bane, Brain Sap, and potentially even Fiend's Grip soon. There's not too many interrupts on the side of OG prior to Winter Wyvern getting level 6. Speaking of, they are going to go for a smoke here.
They're going to blaze it up OG and look towards the bottom lane, see if they can find anything. Limp, he's backing up, and so Zara just hanging around in the jungle, playing it safely here. Era might be in a bit of trouble though if Fly comes out. Yeah, they've dropped the ward, they've got the vision of Era. This will be a big kill if they can find it. Era's been having a pretty good time so far here. They're looking to punish at the side of OG, and the stun will come out. Not going to be enough to stop the damage coming through, and Tiny, Mr. Notail will pick that up and end Era's mega kill streak, getting himself a tasty bounty there into the bank with that extra 500 gold.
Now, Tiny does an insane amount of damage. Just think if last game, I think I was talking to 8mother about this, but imagine if they picked Tiny instead of Sven.
Oh, Miracle as well. And NiP looking for something in return here. Okie dokie, yeah, let's make sure we get the kill. And they do indeed. They'll lose the tier 1 here on the bottom lane. Same time though, NiP themselves, they're looking for a tier 1 on the top. So a kill for a kill, a call for a call, a tower for a tower. Looks like they're going to try and defend here. OG Fly comes in first. They've got the burst, they're bringing him down low. He's got a soul up, he's going to get taken down. There is backup from OG. They'll look for the toss avalanche commands and Silky, but he gets out the Phoenix Grid just in time. Gets healed up as well by the AI. Look at the heal stun. The stun from there. They're looking to try and turn and find more. Moves drop the 2 onto Limb, but it doesn't matter because NiP are cleaning up. They've found everyone bar the Wyvern, and they might just find him as well. They get the tower, they get the slow to crit. They're going to chase him down with Aaron, Jonas, and Fan and Hansken, and they'll get the Wyvern as well. Double kill for the Bristleback, and Jonas and Fan also got the last touch on that tower there as well. They even denied the Queen of Pain. They did not lose Limp to the Doom. Hansken on the IO, making the plays there. He kept the Bane alive for a good period of time so he could get a decent amount of damage and control with the Fiend's Grip. He denied the Queen of Pain from dying from the Doom, and then he moved in, allowing them to chase down on the Wyvern. Some bang on IO play there from the man.
Everything went amazing for NiP in that team fight. Like, they started off the fight TPing in with Fly on the side of OG. They're like, alright, we'll bait this out. We should be able to take this engagement, but the problem is they didn't have Tombstone off cooldown yet. So normally Fly drops that, maybe they get some stragglers, you know, they get cleanup kills, alright fine. OG maybe lose a tower, but they defend. But he didn't have it. So not having Tombstone means you teleport in. The Fiend's Grip was fantastic coming out of Seal Kid. The backup stun from Era as well, that hit on both targets that were trying to take him down, buying more time so No Tail would actually also forfeit his own life. Like, that was very, very good coordination.
Mid lane. Let's see if they can find something here. They'll drop down the ward onto the high ground. High up Era, but he does have the backup of both Bane, Seal Kid's there, and also links to the neighborhood on that quad. And it looks like Era's going back to finishing off the Yule Scepter now as he picks up the Sage's Mask on that pony. But 14 for 9 at the moment. NiP having a better time than they did in game 1, and that's, you know, considering the fact that they didn't even have a bad time in game 1. It's just that this time round they're looking even more powerful against the side of OG. And mid lane, just trying to give it some against No Tail. Both teams understandably being very careful about the next fight that they take, as we've seen the potential from both of them to come out on top. And it's going to be NiP with a smoke here. Limp, Era and Seal Kid looking to lead their way across the map. Notable pickup here for Limp coming around the corner, trying to work his way towards that Orchid, on his way through that second Oblivion stuff at the moment, 300 or so away from the quarter start. Blink forward here, they've found crit here by the mid lane. They've got the magical damage to burst him down, and Era will find the kill here. We'll see if they can get anything more than they can. Fiend's Grip to set him on to Fly with the Scream as well. They're going to die. Sonic Wave now to 2. No Tail, he's all on his own, will find the burst to kill Limp. That's a third kill there for the side of NiP. They'll look for the tier 1 as well, and they'll find it. And again, just some really nice control and play from NiP as a team there, as they make a very nice trade in the mid lane.
I really love the Lesh pick in this game.
Yeah.
It's very easy to look at their lineup and be like, man, they're so tanky. How do we actually, you know, deal enough damage to get kills? They're going to relocate.
We'll see if they can go Moon, but Hansken's going to get doomed here, and this time Hansken may just get punished. He's trying to get himself out. Moon bringing him low with the level def, and he will tick down top lane. Eric gets the stun onto Miracle. He's got to get himself out now here, as he's incredibly low. Miracle, he's actually looking for Seal Kid. They've actually lost the courier as well here. They'll lose the Bane as Miracle just gives him the slap there with 100 stolen damage from the static link. So NiP losing a few kills across the map there, a little bit unnecessarily. Now you can see the Yule Scepter now finished here on Era. 17 for 12. The net worth advantage slightly, of course, favouring NiP. Now, OG certainly not out of this one, as it is still very early days.
Yeah, you can never underestimate late game Doom and Tiny. Like even Razor scales pretty well, at least with items. You just get a good static link, you're so tanky that you always get a good drain on either the Bristleback, I guess, or the Lesh, who's going to be in the middle of a fight. But the Lesh just does so much work right now. His damage output is still insane. I think people forget that. It's not necessarily like the Lightning Storm nerf, okay, it makes him a bit weaker in lane, but he's not put in a position where he has to be a strong laner. He just has to be able to get farm. He's still going to tank up. He still has a reliable stun to land now with the Yule's finished. And if he lands his opener, the burst on NiP is nuts. They can kill any hero on OG.
Bottom lane as well, Crit needs to be careful about revealing himself, because Era is there. I'm just going to see Notel come with an invis rune. This could be a very nice rune for him to have if he can find a pick-off. With the Seal Kid, the sentry's being dropped just in time, so Seal Kid's actually going to see his own demise. Era's going to start to move in, but Crit's there, and Era's in trouble. There'll be a relocate. They're going to bring Jonas and Fan, but straight away the Winter's Curse onto Handskin. It's going to bring down the IO. Limp turns up, and Notel tosses back the crop, saying, get out of here. Miracle getting a decent static link off as he walks the dog, chases down Jonas and Fan. He's got 168 bonus damage here. We'll see if they can do anything else off the back of this OG. NiP, they've got to be careful about sticking around as Notel's looking for the stun, trying to move forward, can't quite find the range here, so isn't going to pop it. Again, OG being a little bit more careful with the fights that they choose to take, and a very nice Winter's Curse there, punishing the relocating that NiP looked for.
I really thought the NiP were going to take that fight. They had a Sonic Wave available. They had their Lesh pretty much full health, full mana. They didn't go for a Yule stun or anything on the Tiny, and the combo was also down, so I'm a bit surprised. I guess when the Wisp died, they just figured it wasn't worth it anymore. Just tried to abandon the team fight, go for something a little bit more stable in the next coming engagement. But it does give OG one more kill. And I think with the Orchid finish now, on the Queen of Pain, this is a really strong timing for NiP. Like, you can go in with Orchid Initiation, you can even relocate in, get a silence on the Tiny, get a silence on the Wyvern, or even the Doom or Undying are actually decent targets as well. It just depends on who actually gets their spells out first. And again, you can burst just about anyone.
On bottom lane, was going to have the push coming in from NiP, trying to find the Yules onto Crit, and they will get the they'll get the range off. And here's the follow-up stun Crit. A couple of balls to his face there from Handscan, and Era will be able to find himself the kill. Fortification comes out from the Dire at that backup. They'll find the tier 1, and NiP with a clean pick-off and a clean tower takedown as well there.
Yeah, this Crimson Guard on Bristleback is also going to be huge. A lot of the damage that OG do at this stage is physical, and it completely negates Tombstone as well, which is a big thing that OG are looking to.
Seal Kid, he has got a Fiend's Grip here. If he can get a Nightmare on Tom to Notel, and he can to set this up. The relocate comes through. Miracle's there with the Plasma Field, bringing them low. Will find the kill onto Bane, and they'll actually lose the IO here as well. They just Sonic Wave onto Notel. Notel's trying to find Era. Era's still alive now. The level death from Moon will finish him off. They drop the Doom now itself onto Jonas and Fan. Miracle's going to look to try and chase this. Fly's going to look for the TP out, and he's just going to be able to make it. Miracle's stolen a hell of a lot of damage, turns towards Limp. Limp will be able to get himself blinked down onto the lane, and they won't lose anything more. But OG this time 3 for 1, and they'll be the ones to take the tower. So back and forth, and this game proving to be just as action-packed and as close as the first one. And Winter's Curse straight up onto Limp, locking him down, and Limp hung around a little bit longer than he needed to there. And that's going to give yet another kill to the side of OG, bringing it to 18 to 19 on the board at just 18 minutes in. Tiny Mr. Notel at the top of the net worth.
That fight was very close to going well for NiP. I think Seal Kid dying, like right away, hurt them badly because he got a Fiend's Grip off for like a half a second, then ate a Plasma Field to the face and just ended up dropping. I thought after Era came into the team fight that they would maybe be able to turn that in a good way, but the Sonic Wave came a little bit too late. By that point, Era was pretty much already dead. They need to make sure that both heroes are in the same place at the same time, because we saw Era's damage potential, but if he can't live long enough, then it really doesn't matter. So he's looking to finish potentially his Bloodstone here soon, and just picking up the extra health from Vitality Booster might have given him the little bit of extra durability he needed in that fight to actually take it.
And lane, Era. He's going to try and go for this, but the stun is a little bit off point. He still gets the slow of the lightning, but Crit's there. Notice the Fan's going to start to try and move in. Notel, he's going to see if he can turn this one potentially. The ball's bursting the Moon fairly low, but the Soul Witch there from Fly. They're still trying to commit to this Doom kill, but Moon, well, they better find it moving forward with the Qualifier. They do. They get a kill onto the Doom. Limp trying to move in for more. Gets the silence onto Notel. Notel's got the backup of Crit here. BKB is now done, and Jonas, in fact, just cleaning up on the back lines. He finds the kill onto Fly as well. Miracle with still a fair bit of damage. They get the kill here onto the Bristleback. Crit. Now the Winter, sorry, the corner base isn't going to save him. Double kill for Miracle, and he is doing a lot of damage here. 119 stolen. They'll move forward with the toss. Era, he's in trouble as well. Ultra kill for Miracle. Limp will blink away. So even though NiP start the fight off with a good couple of pickups, they again just hang around, allowing Miracle to just turn it right around and ensuring that OG are the ones that are coming out on top. And then move forward with the Sonic Wave, hoping to catch one, but he's got to be careful. Miracle's still got this damage here. The Static Link will now come out again. He's lost the initial plus 100, but the toss forward. In comes Miracle, no tail, giving his friend a leg up into the fight, and an effective team wipe there over the last minute, favoring the side of OG.
These fights are insane. Like, okay, so at the beginning of the fight, they go in. The Bristleback is just tower diving under a tier 2, forces TP reaction from Miracle. He gets a link, no tail goes in, stun tosses. Oh, Jonas and Fan. You could be in trouble, dude. I think
he's got hand scan here. No tail. Look at no tail. He wants to go straight in, gets the avalanche onto 2. There's a Nightmare holding him in place. Now they'll try and move in with Jonas and Fan. Pops the Crimson Guard. Moon just frontlining it. Dooms up Steel Kid to ensure that there's not going to be any disruption here with any kind of Nightmare. Jonas and Fan still trying to frontline, looking for crit here, chasing down the Wyvern. Then with the Yule Stun set up onto Moon. Error moving in with the Diabolic Edict and the Pulse Nova, bursting down the Doom Low, but they've already lost the Bane. Jonas and Fan should be able to fight crit, but no, the Winter's Curse holding back the Bristleback. Error's turned up as well. Handskin trying to find this Winter Wyvern kill, and they will be able to find it. So they'll get a kill onto crit. They did lose Bane, so a 1-for-1 there. We'll see what NiP go for off the back of that. It looks like they're going to try for Roshan, and this could be the play here, because I don't know if OG are going to be able to contest this.
Well, they don't have Doom, they don't have Winter's Curse, and they have Tombstone, but yeah, like you mentioned, they're just really far out of position. They only have tier 2s right now, so they'd have to be moving already, I think, if they wanted to get here. All the heroes a little bit low on HP. They do know what's happening.
Yep, they're making their way down, but they've got to be quick. Roshan's melting, and NiP, yep, they're going to get this one. There's your Aegis, picked up by Leshrac. You've now got 2.6k gold on Arrow on top of the point booster and the Yule Scepter, and NiP play it safe.
Do you think Arrow goes Octarine instead of Bloodstone here?
I don't know, Bloodstone is very good though on the Lesh.
Yeah, but the thing is, if you're playing against that many melee heroes, and you know that you're going to be hitting consistently with your damage...
It is a lot of heals.
The durability that the Octarine gives you, I think, might outweigh the mana regen from the Bloodstone at this point. Because really, if you're walking in the middle of like 4 or 5 heroes, and you're constantly hitting like Diabolic Edict damage, Lightning Storm, Pulse Nova, I think you just live forever, right? And then you buy like a casual plate mail, and you're just super tanky at that point.
I mean, overall, what's the BKB status on the side of OG? They got what? A BKB on the Tiny. That's about it, isn't it?
Or no, not Miracle. Moon almost.
Moon's starting to be. Okay, yeah.
Actually, no. Miracle almost has one too.
Okay, so the BKBs are coming out.
Yeah, the 10-second BKB is going to be a bit of an issue for NiP. They're going to have to find other ways of winning these team fights, and I think that's going to be where the huge power spike comes in from OG.
Oh yeah, the BKB is going to be huge.
Because when they actually get BKBs, they still have amazing team fight, even rushing the item. Like No Tail didn't even buy Blink.
Hey, they find a Nightmare here. Do they want to try and fight the sign up here? Because OG, they've got back around the corner. Actually going to commit a Fiend's Grip here. They'll find the silence onto crit to make sure there's no backup. Sonic Wave flash runs to Jonas and Fans has been relocated up to the high ground. They're trying to force back the rest of OG. They'll find the big pick off there at the start. Finding Tiny, Mr. No Tail. Crit's going to go down as well. The Cold Embrace will not save them. The Jonas and Fans moving in for more. They've found 2. Maybe they can find even more here with the Crossplay stacking up onto Fly. They should be able to find the Undying, and they will. They'll find the Yule set up here onto Miracle. The stun follows through as well from Error. Have they got the burst? But the buyback from No Tail turning up the fire with the avalanche of the toss will take the Aegis out of the hands of Error. He's got to be careful though. The BKB is going to run out in a few seconds, and NiP is still looking fairly strong for this fight. Lim jumps forward here. The Doom's been dropped onto Error, but he did manage to get out the AoE. Can he bring down Miracle? He can. Finds the goal to Miracle, but they lose Error here on the Leshrac. No Tail's getting forced back. This will be a dieback. He's going to be very careful as so Moon is actually the one front running and pop the BKBs. The BKB is now down on Moon. He's trying to go for the high ground. Steel Kid pots the Nightmare, holding the Doom back. Crit chasing down Jonas and Fan, pots the Winter's Curse. Moon gets chucked in front of them. Can they bring down this Bristleback? It's going to be hard with their eyes still hanging about, but there we go. Splinter Blast blows up the IO. Jonas and Fan might be able to get himself out of this one though, but no, the toss is there closing the gap. Moon is incredibly low. There's a lot of crossplay, 6 crossplay stacks on him at the moment. So there will just be the 3 of them going down on NiP, but it did cost the buyback here of No Tail. Overall, as we can see,
it's still worth it though. Like in OG's mind, trading a buyback for making sure that you don't give anything else away when NiP has Aegis, that's a really big win for them, because at the end of the day, BKBs are up soon, and they know that with BKBs they should be able to win most engagements. The Queen of Bane damage is going to be pretty much halved. You're not going to have to worry about Orchids so much, except for maybe on the Wyvern, and then Leshrac's damage is completely mitigated at that point. Like, where do you go as NiP for the next, like, probably 10 to 15 minutes, taking an engagement is going to rely solely on catching a hero out.
Hey, relocate time. Looking to bring Era in here for a pick-up onto Fly, and Fly drops the tombstone, but he's all alone. They'll get themselves the easy kill there in NiP, and no repercussions this time as OG. They're just not in the nearby neighborhood.
And Era has enough money to finish the Octarine if that's going to be his choice. I still think it's really good here. Just having the lower cooldown as well on things like Lightning Storm goes down to 3 seconds. Split Earth goes down to like, what, 7 point something? It's a very, very good item on him. And he already has the mana regeneration from the Yule, so typically you'd look and you'd say, alright, well Bloodstone supplements my mana regeneration enough on its own, but Yule's plus Octarine still gives you a good enough amount, I feel.
Absolutely, and
we will see.
It's a close one, Andy.
It is a very close game.
It really is another very close one between these two sides. One of the better games that we've seen over the last few days, without a doubt here.
The one thing to keep in mind too is the team composition that NiP have put together. Typically when we saw Lesh being played a lot, like obviously prior to nerfs, there was always a high physical damage dealing carry with him. I don't really see Bristleback, like he hits hard, but he's really only dealing damage to a couple of targets if he's in the vicinity of Quill Spray, and then he can only focus one. And with BKB, he can't focus anyone because he has to be able to go to reliably hit. So I think he kind of falls off in a big way in terms of his damage output. So you need something else on the side of NiP that's going to supplement damage. Like the Queen of Pain might have to go right-click items or go for an Aghanims. As right now it seems like he might be even opting for Linken's against the Doom and the Winter's Curse. But I'm a little bit worried for NiP's late game right now.
I mean, what do you reckon about this build? We keep talking about Era's build, and it's a bit all over the place. So he's gone for the Soul Booster, and now he's actually gone back to the armor.
He really likes casual items, apparently. But I think this is a way to keep buyback and also increase your effective HP by a large amount before you think a teamfight's going to break out.
Okay.
So his mentality is, if I finish Octarine, I don't have buyback, and I still only have 6 armor. We don't have a Solar Crest or anything like that either.
OG. They really want to try and make a jump towards mid. It's going to be hard though because NiP are playing it safe. They've got 2 towards the bottom, 3 in the mid, Moon moving in, but there is...
the Sentry!
They're leading with the Fiend's Grip, the Orchid's down there as well, Moon getting bursted low, and they'll be able to take the Doom out before he gets his ult out. Now they might be able to find more. Relocating Jonas and Fan, and the BKB comes out from Miracle. Seeing the damage here from the Bristleback, but they'll be able to get themselves away here. With the toss, on the combo onto Limp, can they bring it down with a Nightmare? Finds some time, it doesn't matter, Miracle will still get the kill here onto Limp's Queen of Pain. No Tail trying to move forward, so if he can get Seal Kid as well, make sure that this is a favourable trade for OG and he can. Finds himself another one, there's going to be the buyback here from Limp. There's your Winter's Curse coming out to hands again. Jonas Fan turns against his own teammate, but now he can turn back onto Fly. They'll get the kill onto the Undying Limb. Moving in, looking for the burst onto Grit, and that Cold Embrace is just not going to save you against the massive amounts of magical burst damage that NiP have. And Limb wants to try and find more. Gets the start onto No-Tail. Miracle starting to turn, but there's your Yule setup from Era. Throwing Miracle up in the air, they find the stone to follow up. The toss back was there, but now the Sonic Wave flies through. Hits onto Miracle. They should be able to find the Razor here, and that's going to be 4 going down on the side of OG. No-Tail will be able to TP himself back to base. But a nice buyback there from Limp makes sure that NiP come out on top there.
That was the perfect start to an engagement from NiP, and they did a really nice job of kiting out BKBs as well. Outside of Seal Kid pretty much griefing Limp and nightmaring him, and pretty much just being like, yeah, you're dead. He went for a Nightmare Deny, but didn't quite get it. The big thing about those teams fights is that if you get Doom before he's able to cast his pretty much only skill...
I
think he's alright. He can pop BKB and run away.
He's got backup as well coming in from
He's so slow, Jesus. With just Maim and 2 stacks of goo, you're at 100 movement speed. That's actually insane. Alright, we're going to see the Silver Edge here on the Tiny to counter the Bristle. Very good stuff coming out here from No-Tail. But you saw how weak NiP were to BKBs in the fight, because as soon as they were popped, they have to run. Like, they have to try to kite it out as best they can. They only lost the Bane during the duration of BKBs, and that is like a great trade. If you can get 3 BKBs for just a Bane, then NiP can look to turn it around because Lesh is still a beast, right? Like, especially having finished the Octarine. Now he's even more tanky than he was before, deals more damage, and requires more attention as well from OG.
And I kind of like this as well from Jonas. We did talk about the fact that they're lacking the right-click physical damage, but he is going to be going for this Lotus Orb here on the Bristle.
I mean, you can reflect Doom, I suppose. There's not really anything big to dispel on the side of OG, so I'm kind of curious. I thought Basher might be a better option, or AC or something like that.
Well, I think it was kind of nice here as well for the Bristleback, because he really wants to frontline, but every time Miracle lays down the static link. So if he goes in now with the Lotus Orb, suddenly Miracle, a lot of the damage is being reduced that OG are going to be able to pick up in these 5v5 engagements.
Yeah, that is very true. You put it on and you basically can't static link him.
You literally negate the damage that you're stealing, so nothing is gained and nothing is lost. Yeah. Bottom lane, OG looking to take down a tier 2 at the same time. NiP, they're putting a bit of pressure on themselves. So I guess this is going to be kind of one of those positions where it's who's going to force back who first here.
Looks like OG will be the ones who are the victors in that regard.
I'm going to remain up top with both the Bristle and the Aya. Obviously relocate is available, and that's going to actually be enough here to force some of the members of OG back. So, in turn, Notel is going to try and lead forward with the Shadow Blade, see if he can find any
don't be greedy, come on. Okay, never mind, Notel's not going for it. I thought he was going to go check the jungle, because oftentimes when you have a split like that, the enemy team will try to play as greedy as possible, maximizing their farm, because that's what you do when you have an IO. You just farm off map, you relocate to fights, or you relocate to like an objective or something to backdoor. So checking the jungle is a very common play for any initiator who has invisibility like Tiny Shadow Blade. And it looks like NiP are not going to be punished for it. They will get some farm out of it.
And we'll see what the next play is here from either side. Arrow's farm still racking up. On top of the Octarine, how much money we're seeing on the man? Coming up to 2k. Innocent fan, he's not got a lot of fears at the moment. Okay, it's going to be the Glimmer Cape's been made progress on by, of course, the Aya, Handscam. As yeah, he's got the Glimmer Cape complete now as well. So something else to just allow Bristle. I mean, at this point, Bristle can very much just run into the front of these fights, and you're not going to be able to burst him down or kill him straight away if you're OG.
Yeah, he still has the issue of BKBs though.
Yes.
He will need a basher for sure, and maybe even an assault cuirass if he can get to that point. But the BKBs and playing against Razor as well, even using the goo on him, you get purged every single time. So Razor is like the hardest of hard counters against Bristleback.
Does he want to try and lead in? Yeah, Miracle's coming in as well, but they've got a sentry here on the side of NiP, so they will see the Razor. OG, they're still trying to get themselves in. BKB's pop, Lotus Orb will come out to Jonas November. They drop the Doom straight onto Silk. That should be an easy kill, and it will. They'll take down the Bane, and we'll see if NiP can do anything off the back of this here. There's just Static Link coming out, but I believe he did have the Lotus Orb out in time. It doesn't matter though. Oh, the relocate's there to save the Bristle. They will be able to bring in the Bristle just down south. Jonas and fans going to be fine for the time being, but OG, they still want to continue to fight. Notel moving in again for more with the Shadow Blade. Yeah, there's going to be the Glimmer Cape out, and there's the relocate back to the original position, but Fly's there, ready and prepared to take down the Iron. They should be able to find Hanskin, and they do. Sonic Wave's nice on to crit, but they've already lost 3 on the side of NiP. Jonas and fan trying to do what he can, but there's the Winter's Curse to control him. Fly, he's being healed up by the Cold Embrace. Scream will come out from Limp as he finds a kill in return, but they may just lose the Queen of Pain here as well, and they will. It's a team wipe against NiP, and OG playing a very smart fight there around the heroes of the Radiant.
We just saw there why Lotus Orb can kind of backfire. They don't care about the Bristleback when their BKBs are on. So if he pops Lotus Orb and walks in, and it's obvious that he has it on, then you just ignore him until it wears off. In 6 seconds, you are not going to kill No-Tail, Moon, and Miracle. And if you can't, and Air is not there to deal damage for you, and Limp doesn't land a good Sonic Wave, then your Lotus Orb kind of really doesn't do anything. So it's a way to play around it. OG just realized, yeah, the Bristle's not really that spooky right now. We got Glimmers, we even have Cold Embrace, so the people who don't have BKBs can still become completely immune to his damage. And that's one of the big weaknesses of only having one physical damage dealer against Wyvern, is a Cold Embrace becomes a really freaking good ability.
And this is OG really stepping it up now at this point. Shiva's on the Doom. You've of course got Tiny with the completed Silver Edge. And Miracle, is that the completed AC, or is he still a Hyperstone short? It looks like he is still a Hyperstone short, but nonetheless, getting the tower here in the mid lane. OG with the Aegis on Notel. I don't think they'll show any signs of stopping here with this push and this momentum, and they'll go straight into the tier 3. Let's see what the answer is from NiP. Silky throws down a Nightmare onto Moon. Arrow moving forward. He's going to look to the stun to follow up. We'll find it. Jonas and fans there as well. Notel now puts the BKB. The toss of that. Fuse Grip is onto Moon here, but they're keeping him alive. Cold Embrace comes out from crit. Moon's going to be fine. Arrow's going to be the first one to drop here. He does have a buyback available. He may just need to use it here. There's a Doom onto Limb. Quap's going to almost get down as well. Hanskin trying to hit him up, but it's not enough. They've lost 3. The buyback will come out from Arrow, but the 3 other heroes on the side of NiP don't have buyback. Make that 4. Triple kill for Miracle. Only Arrow left alive, and there's not a lot that he can do. He had to buy back for this, but he's only going to be able to stand there and watch his middle rights go down. And GG's cool. OG do it. They continue the streak, take the series 2-0. And what I feel that they've shown us today, Andy, yesterday we saw them find themselves in a position where they consistently had the lead and then used it very carefully to take the final push. Today, we saw them in a more controlled environment where they were met with quite a formidable opponent, but at the same time, even though the mid-game trades, fairly close, as it got to the later portion of the mid-game, 30 minutes in, every time they found themselves on top.